in a black family. There are certain euphemisms that are used in our community.
Yes.
And one of those is in the form of a question. For, I believe this probably goes across the board, and this is Youth Sunday, amen?
Amen.
So we need to have a word that is also going to be relevant for the youth, amen, somebody?
Amen.
And many times I can remember my mother asking me why I may have done something in particular. And my response would be, well, so-and-so did it.
Yeah.
Amen, somebody.
Amen.
And then she would have a counter response, which would go something like this. Y'all can finish the rest. If so-and-so jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off the bridge? Amen, somebody.
Amen.
The question is a philosophical question in nature.
Yes.
It's a question that will cause the child to think about his or her independence.
Amen.
Their own mindset as a person.
Yeah.
And ultimately learning to think for yourself and not just following what everybody else is doing.
Amen.
More times in life than in others, the decisions that we make seem to be very difficult. We have a tendency, even as adults, to follow the paths that have been set before us. And oftentimes we hate to be the one who stands out in the midst of the crowd.
Yes. Yes.
Because we don't like to be different from everybody else. Because when we're different, we're depicted as weird. Amen, somebody.
Amen.
We're depicted as being funny acting. And everybody seems to notice when we're different.
Yeah.
And I know that none of you probably ever had to deal with this, but when I grew up, I didn't get everything I wanted.
Amen.
A lot of the things that I wanted, as a matter of fact, I did not receive.
That's right. Amen.
I remember, and young people, y'all might laugh at me, but I remember when leather sneakers first came out.
Amen.
Amen, somebody.
Yeah.
How many of y'all remember when leather sneakers first came out?
Amen.
I remember when leather sneakers first came out because, before they had leather sneakers, all the sneakers were canvas. Amen, somebody.
Amen.
And when they had canvas sneakers, the name brand for the canvas sneakers would be Converse.
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
But conversely, my mother never got me Converse. We got sneakers that were called, Buddies. And they had a song for those kind of sneakers. Amen? They said, Buddies, make your feet feel fine. Buddies cost $1.99. Kids can be cruel, amen?
Amen.
And so, when the leather sneakers first came out, the first leather sneaker that came out was the Nike. It was the Nike sneaker. And they also had Converse sneakers that were leather as well. And I can remember the store that sold these sneakers. The store was called the Runner's Roost. And I told my mother because my best friend growing up, John and his brother Eric, they had some leather sneakers. And I said, Mama, I want me some of those leather sneakers. And my mother did not go to the Runner's Roost. She went to a store over in the Central Park Plaza called Murphy's and got me some pleather sneakers. Now, y'all may not know what pleather is. Today, they call it false leather. Amen, somebody. Which ain't nothing but a word for fake leather. And they had a song for those pleather sneakers as well. And they they saw me coming in those sneakers and they said, "Leather, you and your feet gon' freeze together in that patent leather, any kind of weather." I remember that song because every time I would run up, they would start singing that song. They was calling me pleather. Amen, somebody. As a child, though, this was very degrading.
Yeah.
And sometimes I had to laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes.
But what my mother was trying to teach me is the same thing that the psalmist is portraying in the text today. Many seek happiness in things that are superficial. We see rappers today on television, and they're exploiting our young ladies.
Amen.
They have them, pay them high dollars to dress up,
Yeah.
or should I say, half dress up.
Amen.
And to show our society of teenagers that this is what success looks like.
Well, I'm preaching it.
They're looking at all of these superficial things, wearing expensive jewelry.
Come on, Pastor.
And in order to suggest that happiness is in popping bottles of champagne and having sex with as many women as you can.
Preach,
I know y'all ain't gonna talk
Come
about
on
that.
now.
preach.
And this may be attractive to the eye, but is it really what life is all about?
Preach.
Is there true happiness in this type of lifestyle? Is life all about what you're able to receive? Well, the Bible tells us to be in the world, but not of the world.
Amen.
Does that mean that we should take the extremist perspective and that we should completely remove ourselves from the world and practice asceticism? Should we become hermits and monks and move out somewhere into the desert and not have any affiliation with the world whatsoever?
Come on now.
And I would suggest to you that I believe that the true way of Christianity is really about community.
Preach.
Learning to deal with people that you don't always agree with.
Yes. Yes.
I know I wasn't going to get anything
Come
out
on.
of that.
Preach.
Learning to love people that are very different from you. Learning to even submit sometimes to leadership and even your boss on your job when you may not agree with their perspective.
Yes.
Preach.
Amen, somebody.
Amen.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer says, and I paraphrase, that there is not Christ without community. So how do we achieve true happiness?